Most collectors avoid having water around their collection, but us stamp collectors like to give everything a little bit of a bath before we put it away. We do this for a very good reason, and I'm going to show you the right way to do it so that you don't damage your collection. You see, whenever you see a stamp collection, all of the stamps that are going to be in that album have already been removed from the original envelope that they were mailed on, and stamp collectors have a very simple way of doing that, and that's by soaking them in water. But you do have to be very careful about it because there's just a couple of things that can damage your stamps if you don't know what you're doing. The very first thing you want to do is pick up a pile of stamps that have been torn off of envelopes and sort out any of those stamps that might be on brightly pieces colored to paper, like this green or this red, because the paper itself probably is going to have fugitive ink that when you soak it in the water is going to transfer over to your stamps. So once you have all that colored paper sorted out, you grab yourself a bowl of lukewarm water, just like we have right here, and drop a couple of your stamps into it. And the key to soaking stamps is to not be impatient, just let the water do its work. You can definitely dunk them under the surface using a pair of stamp tongs, but you don't want to get to the point where you're trying to lift that stamp off before all of that gum on the back of it has been dissolved by the water. And so when you have one that's finally lifted off, you simply pull it out with your stamp tongs very carefully because it is wet. You dunk it in another bowl of clear water that you have ready in order to remove any additional residue from that gum. You then blot it on a paper towel, then finally set it on another one to dry. You can then discard this old paper, and you'll notice that as you pull these out, even though you don't want to necessarily try to lift that stamp off of there, sometimes you can give them a little bit of a shake and they'll just kind of remove themselves. Like that one right there. And you just repeat this process over and over again until you've gone through however many stamps you've decided to soak that day. And you dunk them in this rinse water because the longer and the more stamps that you soak, you'll see this water get cloudier and cloudier as it has more and more dissolved gum in it. And when you're done and you have a paper towel full of stamps, you just put another paper towel right on top of it, lay it as flat as you possibly can, and then place a book on top of that to dry overnight, and your stamps will come out ready to mount in your album.